Right now on ABC 10 News at 4 o'clock, more questions than answers after a deadly incident at Petco Park. A woman and her son died after falling from the stadium's third floor. The next steps in the investigation now underway. Plus, county health leaders urge those eligible to get the COVID vaccine booster, why they say you should treat it like a flu shot. And the growing efforts from some to stop a sexually violent predator from being housed in a Rancho Bernardo neighborhood.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
We begin with a live look at Petco Park. That's where a woman and her son tragically lost their lives Saturday after falling from the third floor. Since then, a makeshift memorial has appeared. San Diegans placed flowers, candles, and stuffed animals outside the park. San Diego police described their deaths as suspicious. ABC 10 News reporter Rena Nakano is joining us from East Village with where this investigation stands right now. Rena?
Good evening, Kim. Yeah, I spoke with San Diego homicide detectives earlier today, and they say they are working hard on this case as they do with all of their cases, and they are taking time. Take a look at the makeshift memorial here. This was put up here yesterday. We saw many people taking their time, stopping and reflecting, paying their respects to the mother and son. Tragedy happening right before the Padres-Braves game on Saturday afternoon at around 3:50. San Diego police say officers arrived on the sidewalk of 200 Tony Gwynn Drive to find a 40-year-old woman and her 2-year-old son with fatal injuries. At this point, police have not shared if they jumped, fell, or were pushed off the third-floor concession area. But police say their deaths appear to be suspicious, so homicide detectives were called to investigate. We spoke to Shane Harris, civil rights advocate and longtime friend of Tony Gwynn's widow. He said she wished to share her condolences to the family.
It's tragic. In any light, the Gwynn family would probably, under these circumstances, even if it wasn't on Tony Gwynn Drive, but because it ended up on Tony Gwynn Drive, it's just deeply tragic. And the Gwynn family certainly feels the pain for this family and sends their condolences.
We also spoke to Shannon Denbo, who was working at the stadium when it happened. She took these photos. She estimates the railings are about 4 feet tall, but the picnic tables were placed very close to the rails, which she says concerned her. When she went back to check the location the next day, she says the tables were moved several feet away from the edge. Harris says he hopes the investigation sheds light on what happened to the family.
It would be very important that the Padres look into and Petco Park looks into potential improvements that may need to take place to ensure that no one ever by omission or commission is able to go over the rail like this and fall to their death.
And the identities of the woman and her son have not been made public yet, but we do know that they are San Diego residents. And just about 10 minutes ago, I did personally receive a statement from one of the daughters of the witness of this tragic incident. We'll have more on that coming up on ABC 10 News at 5 p.m. Live in downtown, I'm Rena Nakano, ABC 10 News.
Yes, a tragedy there. Thank you, Rena. And county leaders call it the next step to help San Diego get out of the pandemic. Health officials urge people to get the Pfizer booster shot. ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco is live at the county administration building. And Rachel, the county says vaccine superstations will not come back for these boosters.
That's right, Kimberly. The county doesn't think that will be necessary. Instead, health officials say just treat this the way you would when you get your flu shot. Either get it from your primary doctor or you can get it at one of more than 250 participating pharmacies across San Diego County. Right now, though, the booster is only available to people who received their second dose of the Pfizer vaccine more than 6 months ago. Then eligibility is based on a person's age, health, and job. The CDC and the FDA say the following should get a booster: those 65 and older, people 18 or older living in long-term care facilities, people over 50 with underlying health conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. The next group is also eligible: people 18 to 49 with health conditions and people 18 to 64 in high exposure jobs such as first responders, teachers, grocery store, and food service workers.
Should is strongly recommended. Those are individuals that are at greatest risk. The may is based on individuals or their discussion with their doctor risk for the need for the booster shot.
Health officials say the booster is identical to the original vaccine. People who are fully vaccinated and had a breakthrough case of COVID are still urged to get the booster if they're eligible 90 days after their infection. The county says right now there is plenty of supply and meeting the demand is not a concern. Reporting live along the Embarcadero, Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Rachel. And today, President Biden rolled up his sleeve for his COVID vaccine booster shot. Biden got his first 2 doses of the Pfizer vaccine in January. In remarks before getting the shot, he urged people to get vaccinated if they've not already done so. He also said First Lady Jill Biden will get her booster shot soon. And Pfizer plans to apply to the FDA for use of its COVID vaccine in younger children. That's according to the company's CEO. He says Pfizer plans to ask for authorization this week. Pfizer has been testing 1/3 of the dose now given to adults in children ages 5 to 11. And it says that dose is safe for this age group, but the FDA and the CDC will have the final say. Happening tomorrow, San Diego Unified will discuss a possible COVID vaccine mandate for its eligible students. To our north, Los Angeles Unified already imposed a vaccine mandate for students 12 and older. Tomorrow's meeting is simply meant to be a discussion. Parents will get to weigh in during the conversation, but no decision will be made tomorrow. The board is expected to meet at 5 p.m.
Health experts are hopeful that we could see the latest surge of COVID-19 subside by the end of the year. But they say that all depends on how many people get the COVID vaccine between now and then. New cases are currently declining, but deaths are rising as hospitals struggle to treat the unvaccinated. Vaccine mandates could soon leave healthcare systems even more short-staffed. Some state mandates, like in New York, start today, requiring healthcare workers to be fully vaccinated. A total of 23 states have requirements for employees in hospitals and long-term care facilities. Some, but not all, have a weekly testing opt-out for those who refuse to get the shots.
We have hospitals in this country that are having to close down units because they don't have the staff. It's not that they don't have the physical space. It is all about, do we have enough nurses to staff?
Dr. Rod Hochman is chair of the American Hospital Association and CEO of a major hospital system. He says it's not just vaccine mandates adding to staffing issues, but burnout from the increases that they're seeing in unvaccinated patients infected with the Delta variant.
A lot of our caregivers are giving up. They're saying, okay, I've had enough. They're calling it quits.
Dr. Hochman explains that the intensity and resources are far greater care for a COVID patient versus other ICU patients. With COVID patients filling up critical beds, other people experiencing health emergencies may be left with less quality care. As of mid-September, nationally, ICU bed occupancy rates were around 79% with COVID and non-COVID patients. But in some places, especially rural areas, they're at 100% capacity.
Meantime, today, R&B superstar R. Kelly was convicted in his sex trafficking trial. The verdict came on the second day of jury deliberations following a 6-week trial. He was convicted as charged of racketeering and sex trafficking involving 6 women. The jury came to believe that Kelly was the ringleader of a criminal enterprise recruiting women and girls for unwanted sex and mental torment. It's a critical week for President Biden's agenda, and just in the last few minutes, Senate Republicans blocked the House-passed bill that would prevent a shutdown and lift the borrowing cap. Lawmakers have to pass an appropriations bill by Thursday to avoid a shutdown. Also at issue this week is the Democrats' $3.5 trillion spending bill. There's also the separate $1 trillion infrastructure bill. A House vote on that package is postponed until Thursday. And turning now to our weather, here is a live look outside as San Diego experiences fall-like weather. Our meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking these cooler conditions. Angelica.
Yes, for anyone who wanted fall pictures this weekend, it was perfect. You could actually wear long sleeves. And we have some cool weather that will continue, but not for long. The marine layer is so strong right now that it will continue to produce a touch of drizzle overnight and into tomorrow. Looking at the temperatures, upper 60s in San Diego, mid 60s in Kearney Mesa, in Oceanside, 68 degrees, as well as in El Cajon and Ramona, 67 degrees. Looking at the difference since yesterday, just 24 hours ago, temperatures dropping another 2 and 3 degrees since yesterday in areas like Carlsbad, Poway, and Kearney Mesa. We're expecting those conditions to remain nice and comfortable into tomorrow. And there's still plenty of moisture. You can see the areas with the most humidity averaging close to 80% or better near the coast. That's a good indication of our chance to see more patchy drizzle into tonight and tomorrow. We'll have much more in your 7-day forecast.